Now we've moved out the comfort of the clubhouse and welcome to the only authentic grouse butts in Illinois, USA. The grouse butts that you see me standing in, well, ours are a little bit smaller than what you would experience on a real moor, and what we've tried to do is, with our simulated grouse drive, is get the topography right, where, as you know, on a grouse moor, the top of the moor is like almost like a plateau moor going up the hills and the mountains, and generally good butts are actually put on the edge of the moor. Now the reason is that, as you know, grouse is the only true bird that a gun is encouraged or allowed to shoot both when they come at you, so when you'll shoot forward, and then you're able to shoot to the rear. So you have literally both front shots and rear shots. Now again, one of the things that, because if you can imagine, you've got the moor, the butts are in the moor, and generally good butts, the moor will come along and then the ground will slope away. Now the reason that is so that you can see the bird as it comes at you, and then of course when you turn, okay, you still get the ground sloping away and the bird still can be seen, in a sense, with the sky around it. Because obviously what you're shooting is the grouse, and they are camouflaged of course against the heather covering on the moor, and that's why the birds are there, because it's the heather that is their habitat, and that's the breeding environment which the keepers have to work so hard in maintaining. Remember, the grouse is the only bird that in a sense is truly an environmental bird, in the sense that it has to have the right environment to breed, so the keepers spend vast amounts of time, energy, effort in keeping those moors habitable for the grouse, and truly they are the real custodians of the countryside. So those guys work very, very hard. Now grouse begins on the great glorious 12th of August in the UK. Generally in August, even on the moors, the weather can be quite pleasant, and it's not uncommon to be out there in your tie but in shirt sleeves if the weather's very good. However, as the season progresses, and like here at the moment, we are shooting here in Illinois, and this is middle October, and it really is pretty reminiscent of the weather that you would experience on a UK shoot. We've got good winds today, we've got great cloud cover giving us good backdrop to see the birds, and the birds, believe it or not, so far, and will be hopefully the rest of the day, flying in our favour. So when you go up there, as the time goes on, you will understand more and more the tradition of having a quick nip of either port or a good scotch when you're up on the moors, particularly when you start moving from Yorkshire to Scotland, because it can get pretty cold. And you really do know how, you wonder how those old chaps used to manage it. They would go up there, obviously following the ponies, and they go up there, and that's why they had 11s in the field. But you understand truly why they needed a nip. It wasn't so much for the taste of it, it was for the fact it was giving you internal heating. So what we're going to look at today is driven grouse, the true aristocrat of driven shooting, and as you know, of course, was the bird of kings. Well, on the moor, the way they come at you, it's fast and it's furious. Birds, when they're driven towards you, will come at you in bomb bursts of what we call coveys, and then of course they'll come at you in singles and so on. And in a true sense, they come at you almost like a cruise missile. They'll come at you low and fast, and they'll bob and they'll weave and they'll zoom past you, and they'll come over. Very rarely will they come over truly any height above your head. They're going to come at you at eye level, head level. They'll come through in between the butts, and then of course they'll roar off and they'll go away down the slope trying to get into cover. So it's a good idea, if you're very fortunate now that you're going to go potentially off and shoot some grouse, certainly come and look at some videos. One of the great exponents of the sporting shoot is Dave Carey. Some of you, I'm sure you know him, but he's got some great videos, and if you're going to watch anything, those are the ones that I would recommend, and it will show you, it's not about how to shoot the birds, it's about the shoot itself. Today we're looking at techniques and so on, but when you really want to see how birds fly and what's to be done, take a look at David. He's been around a long time, he's a great countryman as well as being a great shot. When you're out on the moor, when you get up to your butt, say our ones are a little smaller, they are authentic, we've kept them as authentic as possible, but again, when you go up, your butt will be a little bit wider. Don't be, you'll get the wood ones, you'll also get the lovely stone round butts. They're the real traditional ones, and the reason they're big is because they're going to have you in there, the shooter. You're no doubt going to have a loader, and you're also possibly going to have the retriever sitting in the butt or around the butt with you. Now when you go up there, the reason the retriever's there is because you'll see on some shoots they have what I call, it's like a white disc. Well, of course that's the bird locator. If you can imagine what they've got, it's got the white disc, it's sectioned off just like a small compass and a small map, and when the bird drops, what the retriever's trying to do is he's trying to mark that section where the bird has gone, because remember, truly, these birds are going to be dropped in a whole 360-degree radius. So when you go in the butt, there's going to be a few of you. There's you, hopefully your loader, particularly if you're double gunning, and then you're going to have your retriever looking after you as well. So the next thing you have to do is to be disciplined. Like all game shooting, you need to be disciplined. You need to be a disciplined gun. And that means go in there with confidence. Don't rush. Whatever you do, there's never any need to rush. As we said earlier in the episode, it's not about how good a shot you are, it's about how safe a shot you are that gets you the invite back, that gets you your reputation. Now it's going to be exciting, the adrenaline's going to be up, but again, most importantly, be disciplined. Try and keep that adrenaline under control, stay calm, never rush. If there's a problem, don't worry, you'll be able to stop, and obviously it can be put right. But once that drive starts, it will keep coming, and they will come at you, as I say, fast, furious. They'll come at you at all sorts of angles and so on. Now obviously we have a line of butts here, and for those of you, I'm sure many of you know, a grouse butt has, if you can see, butt sticks. Now we only have our butt sticks on the front. What would normally happen is the butt sticks would actually form like a window. You would have stick fore and aft, and you would have a cross brace. Now the reason being, of course, is firstly because you're going to shoot birds fore and aft, it stops you, of course, swinging through the line. Now when you get into your butt, it may be that you're expected to mark, if you like, your own butt sticks. Having said that, if you're not sure and you're expected to do it, your loader or even your retriever or even the shoot captain will come along and help. So really, if you can imagine that there would be a crossbar and another brace here. So that is there to stop you swinging through the line and of course shooting in the wrong place. One of the other things to remember is that if you are on the end butt, if you're on number 1 or maybe number 8 or even number 9, as well as your butt stick here, remember, apart from the beaters in front of you, there will be what we call flankers on either side. And their job, of course, is to funnel the birds that the beaters are bringing towards you, to keep them coming over the guns. And you must be aware of that. So again, when you're on the end butt, if you're on number 1 or number 8, it's quite common that either you, okay, or the retriever or your loader will have their walking stick. If it's your walking stick, what I would do, I'd come into my butt, I'd make sure I could identify my arc of fire, the arc of sky in which I can take my birds. But for instance, if I'm, say, on the far right of the line, I'd look, I would think that's where maybe the flankers would be, and I'd get my walking stick and I would place it maybe even in front here. So that gives me another restrictor so I don't end up shooting anywhere near the flankers. Now again, what will happen, most shoots will start on the blow of a horn and they will end on a horn. Now also what you might find is that they'll start with the horn, and then as the beaters come towards us, there'll still be birds out there. But you might find, and you'll get explained by the shoot captain, you might find that there's 2 blasts of the horn. That means no more birds taken in front. You only take the birds to the rear, because of course your beaters are closing on the line of butts. When it gets to a point that is now the danger, or if you like beyond that, becomes dangerous, you may get 2 blasts on the horn, 2 whistles, and then only then birds to be taken to the rear, because the beaters are closing down onto the butt. Now all those things will be covered by the shoot captain in the brief, and you'll be given a good explanation as to what's expected of you and what's going to go on through the day. It is exciting. It's one of, I think, the most, that's why it can be so expensive, apart from the fact that, as I said, these are habitat birds, they're not bred, and it takes an awful lot of work to keep them there. But I'd say they are fast, it's furious, we're on top of the moor, the landscape is tremendous. So if I can also recommend before the shoot, always take 5 minutes, gather your breath before you start shooting, and just take a good look round and take in the wonderful countryside over which you're going to shoot.